This is K2 News at 11 on your side.
Thank you all so much for joining us tonight at 11. I'm Wesley Ogle. We begin with a close look at the 1.5 million acres scorched by wildfires across Oregon right now. The Big Grass Fire remains the single largest fire, burning more than 292,000 acres. It is just 5% contained. The Rogue Creek Complex has burned more than 295,000 acres. It is 39% contained. The largest fire burning within that complex is the Crosswhite East Fire, burning more than 277,000 acres. It's 31% contained. The Bench Fire has burned more than 45,000 acres. And the Aqua Butte Fire is more than 27,000 acres. Both are under 10% contained. Meanwhile, FEMA has approved fire assistance grants for 3 major Oregon wildfires: the Lower Dry Creek Fire, the Aqua Butte Fire, and the Grasshopper Fire. But Oregon Senators Ron Wyden and Jeff Merkley say they're concerned that FEMA denied similar requests for the East Evans Creek Fire and the Rogue Creek Complex. Lawmakers say the denials could leave the state on the hook for those firefighting costs. The Grasshopper Fire east of Mount Hood is still at 15,000 acres. It is 0% contained. These wildfires aren't just changing the landscape, they're changing vacation plans. Campgrounds are closing, forest roads are blocked, and travelers are being forced to change course. K2's Victor Park joins me now here in the studio. Victor, I know you were out at near the Grasshopper Fire for the second day in a row today, and even areas outside of evacuation zones are feeling these ripple effects.
That's right, Wes. While these firefighters work to stop these flames, people hoping to enjoy Oregon's forests are finding their plans can change in an instant. I met one group that was supposed to gather near Sisters. Instead, they had to move more than 100 miles away to Mount Hood, and each person took a different path there. For many, summer means camping with friends. This year, wildfire smoke and evacuation zones are sending those plans in a different direction, literally.
We wanted to be down there, a little south of Sisters in the National Forest, and the forest fire started, and it got really smoky, and we didn't want anybody to be in danger. We didn't want any problems.
Instead of canceling completely, the group found a new meeting spot near Mount Hood. But for some, getting there wasn't easy.
It was pretty challenging. It really was. It took me a lot longer than I thought. And the whole thought of getting stuck somewhere behind a fire was scary. It was just scary.
Anna drove hours out of her way from Nevada. Her 7-hour drive became a 10-hour nightmare.
And I had to go all the way back to Idaho and then go through, Ontario and La Grande and down the Columbia River Gorge, which made my drive about 3 hours longer.
Phil Blanchard drove through thick wildfire smoke before finally finding blue skies.
It wasn't pitch black, it was pitch brown. It was really, really thick. It was just like driving through thick fog.
Anyone trying to access a forest road or a campground within or near the evacuation zone will likely come across one of these road closures, and there are dozens of them. Crossing those closures isn't just dangerous. Violators can face fines up to $10,000, 6 months in jail, or both. The group found this safe spot off Highway 35, but now they have to keep a close eye on the Grasshopper Fire. For these campers, the destination changed, but the chance to spend time together did not.
It's not too hot. The scenery, it's really beautiful. It's quiet here. It's conducive for a small gathering like this.
If you're planning a trip to Oregon's mountains or forests, be sure to check the latest wildfire conditions, road closures, and evacuation information before you leave. Now, conditions can change quickly, and a campground or forest road that opens one day may be closed the next. Wes?
All right, good job finding those people out there. Glad they found a safe place to camp. Thank you, Victor. All right, let's get over to Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Dave Selesky, because obviously he's been tracking the wildfire conditions this whole time. How are things looking right now, Dave?
Well, quieting down right now this evening because of cooler temperatures. But again, we still have air quality issues. We still have hot, dry conditions on the east side of the Cascades. We'll start with the air quality. So through tomorrow in the mid-afternoon hours, we are going to have an air quality alert up for a good portion of central Oregon, all the way down from the gorge into the Madras area, out east, much of eastern Oregon. Under this air quality alert, we've had unhealthy to very unhealthy air quality for all segments of the population the past few days. Over the next 18 hours, you can see with this onshore flow, we're going to keep the keep the smoke from the wildfires east of the Cascades. A good portion of central and eastern Oregon, again, looking at moderate to, again, very dense smoke in much of eastern Oregon. Here are the wind speeds, as you can see, moving onshore this evening, going into tomorrow morning. Those winds by the afternoon, again, tomorrow, upwards of 15 to 20 miles an hour. So, again, fanning the flames and keeping the smoke out of the Willamette Valley, but again, causing all kinds of havoc over on the east side of the mountains. So our top three things to know for this evening: sunny skies and mild temperatures in the forecast for the west side of the Cascades. It'll be warmer on the east side, certainly. High fire danger, not just for eastern Oregon, but also for all of the Pacific Northwest this time of the year. And of course, there we again have that air quality issue up through at least the middle of the afternoon tomorrow. Could be extended depending upon how we see its smoke begin to dissipate by tomorrow. The forecast for you, Wes, in about 10 minutes. Over to you.
Okay, looking forward to it, Dave. Thank you. KATU is on your side. We're continuing to track the wildfires across our state. You can find more information and links to the evacuation orders on our website, KATU.com. Today, attorneys for the nonprofit Disability Rights Oregon filed a new lawsuit targeting emergency alert systems in Portland and Multnomah County. They say their alerts, shelters, and overall response during emergencies are not made with disabled residents in mind and put them at risk. KATU's Barry Mangold has been in touch with the city and the county about this lawsuit. He joins us live now. And Barry, what do disability advocates want from this lawsuit?
Well, Disability Rights Oregon is asking the court to find that the city and county's emergency preparedness and overall response for disabled residents violates state and federal law, and they're asking the court to order changes to those systems. And this has been a documented problem. 5 years ago, Portland's auditor found the city did not properly educate or prepare its disabled residents for emergencies.
They don't have the right stuff for people in wheelchairs.
Portlander Audra Pearson is one of the plaintiffs in a new lawsuit against Portland and Multnomah County, accusing the local governments of creating an emergency response system that discriminates against disabled residents. When local alerts go out for extreme weather, communicating where people can evacuate, seek shelter, or a cooling space, the nonprofit Disability Rights Oregon claims those messages don't reach everyone who is blind, deaf, or otherwise disabled, claiming that the city and county have failed to make required reasonable modifications.
They're not thinking about the people in wheelchairs. They're just thinking about the people that can walk and stuff.
Back in 2021, after the infamous heat dome that led to the deaths of 69 people in Multnomah County, Portland's auditor wrote a scathing report on the city's response for disabled residents, writing, quote, "The city is not prepared to quickly and effectively respond to the needs of people with disabilities in emergencies." In this new lawsuit, Disability Rights Oregon claims the city and county have not fixed the problems.
Accessible alert system, a planned evacuation process, shelters that are readily accessible, and all of those things, because without those things, it really risks the lives of people with disabilities who may be trapped, may not have the supports they need to be safely taken from an emergency situation into a new safe place.
So both the city and Multnomah County told us today that they do not comment on pending litigation. I also did follow up with Portland city officials to ask what's been done since that scathing 2021 audit to improve the emergency response system for disabled individuals. I have not yet heard back tonight. At the live desk, Barry Mangold, KATU News.
All right, Barry, thank you so much. Caught on camera now. This is bizarre. A Beaverton man is facing charges after police say this road rage incident escalated into a dangerous chase. Watch this video. Investigators say 29-year-old Armand Hastings drove recklessly, entered oncoming traffic, and even reversed for more than a mile while chasing this driver and his wife on Sunday morning. The victim, who he said was with his wife, drove straight to the Beaverton Police Department for help. There, officers arrested Hastings, and they found an airsoft handgun in his jacket. Police are now asking anybody who maybe witnessed this incident to please come forward. A Washington man is facing charges after deputies say he drove the wrong way on I-5 while claiming somebody was chasing him. The Clark County Sheriff's Office says 35-year-old Marvin Badia called 911 this morning reporting that he was being chased. Investigators say traffic cameras showed no vehicles following him. Deputies say Badia later crashed into two parked cars at a Safeway before he was arrested. As you can see inside that store, nobody was injured. A Portland woman pleaded guilty to interfering with federal law enforcement today at a protest outside the ICE facility. Federal prosecutors say 39-year-old Catherine Vogel was arrested after splashing red paint on the ICE building in September 2025. Investigators say she refused officers' commands and struggled as they tried to take her into custody. Vogel was originally charged with assaulting a federal officer, but she later pleaded guilty to the reduced charge of interfering with federal law enforcement. She faces up to a year in prison and is scheduled to be sentenced October 21st. Tonight, OHA says there are 2 healthcare sites in Multnomah and Washington counties where people may have been exposed to measles. The first potential exposure was at Providence St. Vincent Medical Center, specifically the East Pavilion Medical Office Building lobby, elevators, and 7th floor. That potential exposure happened today between about 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. The second exposure site is the emergency department waiting room at Randall's Children's Hospital in North Portland. OHA says anybody who visited July 23rd, 24th, and 25th during these times on your screen should contact a medical provider. So far this year, there have been 32 measles cases in Oregon. Washington health officials are warning residents about a phone scam involving fake Department of Health calls. Scammers are spoofing Department of Health phone numbers and claiming a person's medical information has been compromised before asking for personal information. Officials say don't share any personal details, and if you receive a suspicious call, just hang up, block that number, and report it. If you believe that you've been targeted by a scam, you can also file a report with the Washington Attorney General's office. Coming up on KATU News, the debate over data centers continues in the Portland metro area. We're getting new details tonight about why Hillsborough City leaders voted to place a 4-month pause on new applications. And we create a lot of valuable content here on KATU News. If you missed something, if you want to see something again or share it with your friends, just point your phone's camera at that QR code on your screen right now. That will take you right to the KATU News YouTube page.